9 years ago, my brother's world crumbled when his wife, the love of his life, shattered his heart. She had been cheating on him for an entire year and left him for another man. I was always against their marriage, but I never imagined it would end in such betrayal. When she left, my brother was devastated. They had married so young, and he was completely unprepared for the emotional fallout. He moved into my apartment, a broken man. Depression consumed him, leaving him unable to function. He lost his job, stopped taking care of himself, and sank into a dark abyss. I was the one who picked up the pieces. I paid for his psychologist since he had no money, and even gave him baths when he couldn't muster the strength to do it himself. It wasn't a burden. I did it all out of love for my brother. I wanted to see him rise again. His wife, on the other hand, simply vanished from his life. She blocked him from everywhere, leaving him to deal with the aftermath of her betrayal. She had confessed her infidelity and claimed she was in love with the other man. That was it. No apologies, no remorse, just a clean break. 4 years later, just as my brother was starting to regain his footing, she reappeared. She claimed she had changed, that she was receiving psychological help, and that she was truly sorry for what she had done. Her lover was out of the picture, and she wanted a second chance. I urged my brother to cut off contact with her for the sake of his mental health, but he didn't listen. He started justifying her past actions, saying they were too young when they got married, that she had been going through tough times, and that she had genuinely changed. Whenever I spoke ill of her, he got defensive and angry. Before I knew it, they were back together. My brother cut off all contact with me, accusing me of not accepting their relationship and trying to come between them. Hurt and frustrated, I told him to go to hell, and we stopped talking altogether. Years passed and we lived our separate lives. I got married, and my husband and I started our own family. My brother, however, never even reached out to congratulate me. He didn't invite me to meet his children, nor did he attend my wedding, despite the invitation. Then one day, my brother showed up at my door, out of the blue. He was a mess, his eyes red and filled with sorrow. He told me that his wife had cheated on him again, but this time, they had children together. In the past, I would have welcomed him with open arms, comforting him as I had done before. But this time, something in me had changed. The years of silence, the way he had cut me out of his life, all came rushing back. He had never been there for me when I needed him, and now he expected me to drop everything and be there for him. I told him that I couldn't let him stay at my house. It was true, I couldn't handle that kind of stress, not with everything else going on in my life. He pleaded, saying we were siblings and that he needed me, but I reminded him that I had needed him too, and he had chosen to cut me off for her. The argument escalated, and soon I was in tears. My husband stepped in and asked my brother to leave. He did reluctantly, and now he's staying with our parents. My mother keeps telling me that this isn't the time to hold a grudge, that he needs me, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. I love my brother. I did everything for him when he was at his lowest, but he chose her over me. Now I have to protect my own heart and my own family. The door to my home and my heart is closed to him for now. Now time for second story. So my friend said I should be crying because I am not going to her wedding. I, 38F, have two friends getting married. We will call them A38M and B30F. I have known A since we were in nursery and went through every school together. We weren't that close. We were just friends and hung around in the same circle. We only hung out when we were in school. But I drifted between groups of friends, whereas A would stay with the one circle of friends we were connected to. When we left school, we did try and stay in touch as we lived by each other, but we didn't have the same circle of friends. I had decided early on I needed to cut some of my friends out of my life, because throughout high school we had our ups and downs. This comes into something later on when B says something about other weddings. So B and I are talking about the wedding, and it got on to what I would have for my ideal wedding, so I tell her about what I would like to have. Having in mind, yes, I want a big wedding, but not many of my friends from school are going to be invited, and B states that she has convinced A that their wedding won't involve anyone from his school days, apart from my best friends and the ones that had invited them to their own weddings. I wasn't upset as I agreed with it, as I don't talk to anyone who I was in a circle with during high school, apart from A, and now it is more B that I chat to on a regular daily basis. This is where B states, that means you, OP. You're not invited. So I said, sure, that is okay with me. It's a small wedding and I completely understand. Well, B hit the roof, she said. Shouldn't you be crying to come to my wedding? I was like, no, why would I be crying because I am not invited to your wedding? She said, well, you cried at all the other weddings you weren't invited to with your friends. I was actually confused about this statement as I was thinking whose wedding really upset me because none of the circle of friends me and A were in during school was I upset over, as I had cut all ties with some of them. B stated that A had told her that I was never invited to any of my friends' weddings and that everyone in the circle were all married now. It was only me and A who weren't married. I again stated I wasn't upset for not being invited to their wedding, and she carried on saying I should be. So I said, you're having a small wedding? It is 20 to 50 people. I wouldn't be expecting an invite from you guys in the first place. B looked taken aback by this, as she was still insisting I cried when I wasn't invited to other weddings. There was only one wedding that I was really bothered about, and that was a friend who I thought I was really close with decided to last minute to tell me I wasn't allowed to go to her wedding. That wedding, I was part of the wedding party in MON. So yes, that wedding I was upset over, but that was to do with an ex of mine being the best man and that he had gotten married to his wife 4 weeks before my close friend's wedding, and she wanted the girl to be her MOH and not me anymore. And so yes, I was hurt by that, and not even being just a normal guest at the wedding either. This doesn't give B the right to state I should be crying because I am not invited to hers. I again state that I am not upset and that she should not bring someone else's wedding into the mix as they are two completely different weddings, as my close friend's wedding was a very big wedding and that me and my ex were still friends, and that my close friend thought it was best that I just didn't go to her wedding as I would be making it about me when best man, my ex, was with his wife. Having in mind we had fallen out of love with each other and were better being friends, I was even invited to my ex's wedding and went and didn't make a show at his wedding. Again, B stated I must be upset because me and my boyfriend are not invited to her wedding. Again, I stated I wasn't, and that I understood why me and my boyfriend were not invited to the wedding because it was a small wedding. I just told her to stop going on about me crying that I wasn't invited and that it was ruining our lunch and day shopping. She proceeded to say, well, there's no point going shopping as you're not invited to my wedding. Having in mind we weren't shopping for any wedding-related things, I was shopping for my boyfriend's birthday present, and this all had come out of nowhere. So this is when I snapped. I said, listen, I didn't go shopping with you today to look for an outfit for your wedding. We came today to find an outfit for boyfriend's birthday. Something special as me and my boyfriend are going away for the weekend without my kids. And to buy a present for him, and that I thought we were friends, what could do that together, and that I thought we were close enough to have a girly day and talk about anything, and that I am not upset that I am not being invited to her wedding. Some details for some reason I didn't put in. A is my friend from school. He was later asked why I wasn't really upset that I wasn't invited like I was when my close friend disinvited me to her wedding. Sorry for confusing people.